What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to a very special bonus Christmas adventure that we're going on here on Improv Tabletop, the RPG actual play show that does weird things sometimes. I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I'm joined by...
Christian Randall, a little mouse guy.
McKenna Steele, a buttered noodle.
Michael Sear, big old cheek.
And we're going to figure out what these implications mean in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about a little background with this here one-shot. So this is a special Christmas one-shot that I put together back in 2018 when I was going through a Storm King's Thunder campaign, one of the very first D&D campaigns that I ever ran. And I've run it a few different times. I'm really proud of it, and I want to share it with the world. But I am not a big fan of Dungeons & Dragons, the game, so much these days. Now, here's the thing, though. Like, there's a lot of tropes in D&D that I really love, that I think it captures very well. But I very much prefer narrative-based RPGs these days over more of the traditional numbers-based RPGs. And therefore, enter Dungeon World. Dungeon World is a Powered by the Apocalypse game that is designed to evoke the feelings, to have the same tropes and various themes of Dungeons & Dragons, but using the Powered by the Apocalypse framework, which if you've heard our Avatar Legends episodes, it's the same framework that Avatar Legends is based off of. It's very narratively oriented. I've been playing a long-term campaign using Dungeon World for a while, and I think it's probably currently my favorite RPG. I really love it, and I want to give all of you out in podcast world a chance to hear what it's all about. So, we're going to convert this adventure from the original D&D rules that I made for it to Dungeon World. And let's go ahead then and have our characters introduce their characters. We're bringing back characters that we've played previously, but then just converted them over to Dungeon World rules. So let's go down the alphabetical list. Christian, who is your character that you're bringing to the adventure?
Yeah, I will be playing Renu. He is a mouse paladin. He's all about, big heart, little body, saving the world, being a good guy. He is French, so he does have that issue.
Do we have any French listeners? Because we don't now.
Apologies to our French listeners out there in podcast world.
No, you'll want to apologize once I start doing the French accent. Then you'll really want to apologize.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
No, but I really enjoyed playing him back in the day, so I'm excited to bring him back.
Yeah, that is Renu. McKenna, what character are you bringing back for us?
This is a character that I'm probably the most proud story-wise. Actually, I think before we started the podcast, it was the only character I think I ever fully finished a campaign with. Well, except for the one you run. Anyways, her name is Reiki. She is a goblin that is a monk, and she lost her hand to a dinosaur who is now her pet dinosaur named Andy. And he's a raptor.
Yes.
And she's just really happy to be here. And she has a lot of really cool moves that she does. And she now has a robot hand that punches things too.
Yes, to replace the hand that got fed to your dinosaur
pet
friend Andy.
Yes, when I was kidnapped. But yeah, so that's Reiki.
And then our final character, Mikey, who are you bringing?
I'm bringing also an old D&D character. His name was Dulcrum. Well, is Dulcrum. He was a larger-than-life, loved to party, loved to just hang out at bars and drink and tell stories. He was a life domain cleric. He was wider than he is tall, and the only way he could get around was by flying on a broom. He had a speed of 0 otherwise, because he was so large. And yeah, so in this campaign, he's gonna be a cute little hamster. And I gotta jump on the accent wagon. Is that... I've always thought to do a good old West Ham accent. Nope, that's horrible. I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna do...
I love it. I don't want
to do Scottish in front of McKenna. Her Scottish accent is so good.
I don't want to do Scottish in front of McKenna.
Oh, no. He's just gonna be... Maybe we'll go Southern. A little Southern.
Oh, yeah.
A little Southern hospitality.
I love.
Some good old Georgia Peach Southern hospitality.
I love him.
Very nice. So we've got our mouse paladin, our goblin monk, and our hamster cleric, who are all gathered together on this wonderful holiday adventure. So let's go ahead and get on into the exposition. Midwinter in the Forgotten Realms, a day of light amongst the darkness of winter's depth, a day of merriment and song, and the day when the great dwarven artificer King Kringle is said to deliver fine toys to children all up and down the Sword Coast. His home of Citadel Advent is bound to be the most hopping place in all of Faerun today, so you decide to stop by for a visit. As you approach Citadel Advent, the snow around you seems to brighten. The trees begin to sprout round decorations and stars, and the closer you get, you see magical fairy lights conjured in strands all along the pathways and across the boughs of the trees. With the Citadel now in view, you see the entire thing seems to be constructed from a dark brown stone resembling gingerbread, decorated with shining gems cut to resemble candies. Reaching the drawbridge, you see a small building just off the road from which 3 critters leap, clipboards in hand. They are fuzzy little rodents wearing long sweaters which brush the ground near their feet and pointy red and green caps upon their heads.
Bonjour, I am Renu. I am here to attend the festivities of the evening, along with my friends Reiki and Dolkrum. And you are?
Oh, I am Alvis, and these are my friends Simeon and Theophilus.
Oh no, I love them. Oh, aren't you just the sweetest thing?
Oh my goodness. You're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then I want to like squish their little cheeks.
Let's go with our first roll of this one shot here. So, very similar to how Avatar Legends works, everything here is going to be 2d6. Then we're going to add the appropriate stat, and there are 3 degrees of success. So, go ahead and roll those 2d6. We're going to make this a Defy Danger Charisma. Defy Danger is kind of our catch-all move in Dungeon World, where basically anything you want to do that doesn't fit into one of the other moves, we're going to Defy Danger. So, what did you get for that?
5.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, that is a full failure. Anything 6 or below is a failure, and then 7 to 9 partial success, 10 plus full success. So you rush in to pinch their little cheeks, and Theophilus comes in from behind with a sharpened candy cane and says, "Hey now, don't get too handsy. We need to make sure that nobody's getting in here trying to be a big old Scrooge about the situation. How can we be so sure you're not going to try and sabotage King Kringle?"
Oh.
Now, one other thing to notice, aside from just the narrative failure, every time you fail a roll in Dungeon World, you mark a point of experience.
Oh, good for me.
Good for you.
1 XP. Right off the bat. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna back away slowly. I just got really excited. You're just really cute, but don't worry, I'm not gonna ruin anything. See, I put on like a little Santa hat, and I'm like, it could also be kind of like an elf hat, because if you need me to be that, but it's really good that I'm festive. And look, and Andy, he has a scarf.
They look up and see your raptor that you've been riding in on, and they all gulp a little bit.
He's a vegetarian now.
Is he now?
Yes.
Let's have you now roll to parley. When you influence or manipulate an NPC to do something they wouldn't normally do, roll plus charisma. Now, either of you can help if you would like to.
Yes.
Yes, when you help someone making a move before they roll, either they accomplish more than they could otherwise, or they gain advantage on the roll. Dolkrum, sounds like you're helping out with this. How do you assist in this persuasion here?
I call upon my deity, which is purely food. All food. I saw he had a peppermint shank.
Yes.
And I take a handful of mud next to the ground and I transfigure it into a hot cup of cocoa. And with his hand outstretched with the peppermint shank, I just kind of put the hot cocoa right under and into the peppermint shank. And I say, "This ought to calm things down. We're here to be your friends. We're here to help."
All right. I think this is a simple enough invocation of your deity's domain that we don't need to make you roll for that. Now, with this assistance, McKenna, you get to roll with advantage.
So I can roll 3?
Yep, you're going to roll 3d6 and add together only the 2 highest results.
Oh, good for me. A 10.
Perfect.
Right.
So, for parleying on a hit, they reveal the easiest way to convince them to go along. If it's a partial success, the thing that they'll ask you to do is likely going to be costly, tricky, or distasteful. But since you got a full success, they look up at the raptor and they just kind of gulp and nod and smile and say, "Yes, let's get you right on inside. But first things first, one piece of bookkeeping we need to go through. Do you believe in King Kringle?" And he pulls out a little clipboard and looks at all of you expectantly.
Oh, yes.
And so he marks down a little check mark on his clipboard and then looks to Dulcrum and Renew.
I mean, of course, it would be silly not to believe in the most benevolent King Kringle. He's a wonderful man.
And he puts down another check mark.
Oh, why, yes, friend. There is quite a deep and rich lore behind the great feast every 25th of December. Or is that, what are months in this world? What is
Yeah, it's all weird in the Forgotten Realms calendar. But yeah, it's the equivalent of the 25th of December is definitely something that we all know.
Yes.
We all know. But yeah, come Kris Kringle night. There's always a feast to be had out in that there plate out there in front of the fireplace. Very, very, very aware of Mr. Kris Kringle.
And the three chipmunks all nod very approvingly, and they pull down the drawbridge and wave you inside to the citadel itself. And inside, you can see that this place is decked out with decorations, music, and yes, food of all kinds on tables sagging underneath the weight. You see little gnomes milling about the place wearing similarly festive garb to the three chipmunks. And people are just milling about very excitedly. There is a clamor in the air, just this electric feeling. And you can see like off to one side is a big double door lit around with candles and wreaths and whatnot. And people are occasionally looking over there excitedly. But yes, you are here in the Citadel. What would you like to do?
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I feel like I need a sweater.
All right, how are you going to acquire a sweater?
Are there shops?
I'm going to roll to see if there is a gift shop here. There is a gift shop.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I'm gonna run over and say, I need the most... Excuse me? I need... hey, hello, I'm right here. I need...
Yeah, what you want?
Okay.
This gnome turns towards you. He looks like he's been working in the toy shop for longer than you and your parents and your grandparents have been alive.
You look great for your age. I need the most festive sweater in your inventory for little money, because I actually don't know how much money I have. Hold on. How much money do I have?
Yes. So this is another thing that is kind of unique about, well, I guess I should mention that we are playing Dungeon World. We are also playing a community-made hack of Dungeon World called Unlimited Dungeons. Because Dungeon World itself, it came out in 2013. It's a little bit clunky. There's a lot that the community has learned about what makes a good Powered by the Apocalypse game in the years since then. And so this is my favorite hack of Dungeon World, Unlimited Dungeons. And they do away with like the specific nickel and diming of like gold pieces and silver pieces, etc.
Amazing.
And instead, we just have different degrees of loot, and it's kind of a bartering system. You've got shiny pieces of loot, valuable pieces of loot, and precious pieces of loot. And there are kind of like some rough exchange rates, but I'm going to say that each of you can start with 3 shiny pieces of loot. And what exactly those are can be up to you. Maybe it's a gem, maybe it is a watch that you stole from somebody, whatever you want it to be. Each of you is going to get to start with 3 shiny pieces of loot.
I have this really pretty ring that you might want.
Yeah, he takes it and looks it over. He pulls out a little jeweler's loop and puts it into one of his eye sockets, and you can see as he like squints his eye, the crow's feet just spider out like the cracking of an egg at the corner of his eye. And he peers at the ring and says, "Why is there dried blood on this thing?"
"'Cause I cut it off a finger."
That tracks. Okay. And he goes into the back and he opens up a cupboard, and you can see there's a few different styles of Christmas sweaters they've got on display. They've got one that's a bit more reserved. It's just kind of like a nice sort of Argyle pattern in reds and greens, all the way up to like at the very far end. There's one that has this just garish embroidered kitten on the front wearing a Santa Claus hat, and it's actually got blinking lights on it, and you can see there's a little button on the front that says meow.
Is that enough for me to get that one? Oh, please say yes. Oh, please.
He looks at it and then looks back at you with kind of a fiendish smile and says, "Perhaps it might be. That depends on how well your parley roll is." So, once again, 2d6 plus charisma.
A 12.
A 12. Ooh, full success. He looks at you and says, "For such an adorable thing as yourself, this blood-stained ring will be perfectly adequate."
Yes.
And he puts it into his pocket and pulls down the sweater off of the hanger.
And a tip for your kindness. And I place the finger that it was on the counter and I walk away.
He surreptitiously reaches up and just like puts his hand over it, slides it down across the counter, and that's the last you see of that finger.
We have to replenish his Andy snacks later, but don't worry, I told him he has to pretend to be vegetarian.
Andy looks at you with a little frown on his reptilian face and then looks over at the different tables. And you see there's one that's just like loaded with little smokies and barbecue meatballs and stuff. And he's just drooling, looking very sadly over at that table.
Go eat the grass.
Before he goes, though, I say, I nabbed this from them little elves. A little bit of mint. Would Andy like a mint?
Probably because when he's really hungry, his breath is stinky.
I
So
bet. I see half a mouse carcass in that there back husband.
he doesn't floss.
Did you say a mouse carcass? Carcass of a mouse?
It was a non-sentient mouse, I'm sure of it.
Now, inspiration doesn't technically exist in Dungeon World, but I'm going to say it does now because of that Andy's mint joke. So, Mikey, go ahead and take inspiration.
That was really solid.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Oh, that was such a good joke.
I have those in my candy jar, though.
Now, Christian, what has Renu been up to this whole time?
I've been going around looking for, traditional French celebration. There's always those little terracotta figurines of the saints. So I'm going around looking to see if anybody's selling any, like, a little figurine of King Nicholas. I would be thrilled.
King Kringle.
Or King Kringle.
Yeah, let's have you go ahead and discern realities. This is our perception move in this game. When you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom. And then if you get a full success, we've got a list of questions that you can ask the GM. A full success gives you 3 of those questions, and a 7 to 9 gives you 1 of those questions.
What does a 3 get me?
A 3 is, in fact, a failure.
Well, I get an XP.
Yeah, you mark XP whenever you roll a failure. That is always important to remember. You're looking around to see if you can find any figurines of King Kringle, and you see exactly next door to the sweater shop is a little figurine shop, and you see the cashier boxing up a little figurine of King Kringle and sliding it across the tabletop to a figure who grabs it, nods, and turns to walk away, and you see it appears to be a cat.
Pardon, monsieur. I happen to see you bought the last Kringle figurine?
That is correct. It is now my Kringle figurine. And does a little flourish. You see that he's wearing a very fancy hat with a feather in it and swipes a scarf across his shoulder. And there's just like dazzling glitter flying through the air as he does so.
I dust my nose off from the glitter. As a very impressive find you have there. I myself was looking for one to add to my collection. Would you be willing to perhaps part with this?
He lowers one of his eyebrows and raises the other one. It's like perfect synchronicity moving in opposite directions. Well, that depends, I suppose, on what it is that you can offer me in return. So, I'm going to need you to parley with this cat here. And since the fact that he got the figurine instead of you was a result of your full failure, I think it's going to be with a disadvantage to parley.
I think that's a good idea.
So that's going to be 3d6 and add together the 2 lowest results.
3d6. Oh boy, these numbers are tough. Big numbers.
Plus charisma.
Big numbers. Boy, I got a +1 to charisma.
Big numbers.
+1 to charisma. So that in total would be a 3.
Oh, great. Exactly the same as you got last time. So mark experience.
Wow, you're so experienced.
Getting so much experience.
Crazy.
So what do you try to offer this cat in order to get this figurine from him?
I rummage around in my bag and I'm like, this'll work. I happen to have a bushel of catnip. You people like this, yes?
He immediately bats it out of your hand and says, I am 2 years sober. I will never go back to that life.
1,000 apologies. Oh, please, I am so sorry. I did not know. Of course,
A cape hits you in the face as he turns around and heads over to the snack tables.
My figurine. Oh.
Would it help if you press this button right here?
Wow, you have a very impressive sweater that meows just like the cat that took my figurine. I feel so much better. And then I go and I pick up my catnip.
All right, so then what has Dulcrum been up to this whole time?
Oh, all these mighty fine recipes. I'm looking for a cookbook.
A cookbook. Let's go ahead then and let's have you spout lore, I think. Spout lore is also an information gathering move, but it's more intelligence based. It's more about like studying. So when you consult your accumulated knowledge about something, roll plus intelligence.
Uh-oh. 7 total.
All right, so we got a partial success. If it is a full success, I tell you something that is interesting and useful about the subject that is relevant to your current situation. But on a partial success, I'll tell you something interesting, but it's up to you to make it useful. So you're looking around and you can see there is a team of chefs that are carting things in and out, wearing their very bright white aprons and toques on their heads. And you can see there's one that appears to be kind of the leader, who is, helping guide people in and out of whatever kitchen is on the far side. And you can see that this individual is in fact holding what appears to be a recipe book of some sorts. So that is the thing that is interesting that you have found, but it's up to you to figure out how to make it useful.
They don't look dangerous. They're just busy. They're just busy right now.
Yeah, just busy.
I'm gonna pull out a bunch of gingerbread pieces, and I'm going to pretend to fall in front of them. Oh no, my gingerbread house! Oh heavens, no! Oh please, no, spit out! No!
All right. So you're trying to cause enough of a distraction to give you an opportunity to try and grab that book. It sounds like maybe.
I suppose I don't want to like keep asking for just more rerolls until I succeed. You know what I mean? But he does want that cookbook.
Yeah. So let's have you then defy danger charisma to try and convince these people that you are in fact in distress.
Okay. Defy dangers. It comes with some dangers though, right? If I remember reading that.
So yeah, when you act despite an imminent threat or suffer a calamity, say how you deal with it and roll plus the stat the GM says. And this is not always about like super big danger. It's more of our catch-all move for anything that doesn't apply anywhere else. If you roll a full success, then you do what you set out to do and there isn't any threat that comes to bear against you. But on a partial success, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. I will offer you a lessened outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice.
Okay. Plus charisma.
Yep, plus charisma.
That's a 5.
5, full failure. Wow.
Mark that XP.
Mark XP. So yeah, you drop these gingerbread pieces on the ground and immediately a bunch of gnomes come up with dustpans and brooms.
Oh, thank you.
And they sweep up your gingerbread that you brought with you and cart it off to the incinerator.
Wait, Brent. Oh.
So I think we're going to have you mark off one of your uses of supplies.
Love it.
So this is another thing that I really like about Unlimited Dungeons. Supplies. It's a very versatile way of handling inventory, because if you're in a situation where it's like, man, it would be really convenient if I had a rope right now, you can just mark off one of your uses of supplies and boom, now you've got a rope.
Got it.
So yeah, while all of this shenanigans is going off in various parts, one of you being surprisingly successful in what you set out to do, after a while, you can hear from behind the doors a creaking noise and a hush begins to fall over the room. Those big double doors that were all lined with the candles and the wreaths. And you can hear from behind them a snorting and the pawing of hooves on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
You can see a dim red glow coming through these doors as well. And all three of you hear the sound of these beautiful jingling bells. All three of you, because all three of you believe in King Kringle.
I do.
And you can see this red light begins to intensify until it emerges from between the doors, attached to the snout of a plucky young reindeer. And you see harnessed in 2 lines behind it are 8 more reindeer, each of them seeming to hover off the ground with each of their steps. And the amazed silence around you gives way to clapping and cheering as the crowd's faces light up with glee. And as the final reindeer emerges from the darkness, the nose of an ornate sleigh begins to enter the light.
Oh my gosh.
And the cheering intensifies as the revelers anticipate the sight of the driver, but it is hushed when a deep throaty chuckle fills the air and a hand emerges from the darkness. It wears a red furred sleeve cuffed with white wool, but the fingers are long, green, and hairy. The fingers snap, and with a bellow, the reindeer all freeze in place, falling to the ground as frost begins to overtake their bodies, starting from their hooves and working its way upward. Soon, all 9 are icy statues, deaf to the screams of the once happy crowd, and with a raucous laugh, the hand disappears back into the darkness as chaos grips the feast hall. What do you do?
I'm going to charge the doors.
All right. You go rushing forward, and as you reach the area where all of these reindeer are lying, you see there are some of the gnomes that are trying to prop them back up, but you hear a cracking noise as one of them, you see a hoof moves, and it moves strangely, almost like in a very low frame rate stop motion. The hoof moves out and kicks one of the gnomes in the face, and it goes flying and splats against the far wall and slides down. And you see all 9 of these reindeer begin to rise up back to their feet, and from their eyes, almost like dry ice fog, this strange arcane energy is streaming down as they all turn and look at you, Renew, and growl and snort at you.
I bear my shield and draw my sword. Gentlemen, to arms.
To arms!
All right, it's fighting time.
It's fighting time.
It's fighting time.
So, this is one thing in Dungeon World that is very different from D&D. There is no initiative in Dungeon World. Everything that we do follows the same narrative flow. You just tell me what you want to do, and we have a couple attacking moves that we'll be using, I'm sure, quite a lot. Hack and Slash is our melee move, Volley is our ranged move, but you also have the opportunity at any time during combat to attempt any of the other moves as you please. So, Renew, seems like you are stepping in first. What would you like to do against these reindeer?
I'm going to get my shield up, and then I'm going to pull my long sword, and I'm going to try and take the antlers off, just crack into it. Hey, these guys are bad. Bad news.
But maybe we can fix them, and then they'll be reindeer again.
Fix this, and I stab.
All right, so we're going to Hack and Slash. When you fight in melee or close quarters, roll plus strength. Now, the interesting thing about how Hack and Slash works, because the reindeer don't get a turn in combat. They attack in response to your attacks.
Oh.
So whenever you hack and slash, you're opening yourself up to a retaliation from the creature you're attacking. But if you get a 10 plus, you can choose one of 2 options. You can either evade, prevent, or counter the enemy's attack and not take any of the damage, or you can strike hard and fast, dealing an extra d6 damage, but suffering the enemy's attack. So let's have you roll plus strength, Christian.
I would do my Divine Ward ability
Oh, yes.
right off the bat. I'm not sure where we would line that up in this narrative, but
Yeah, I think we can definitely give you that. You see that Renew is rushing in for the attack. So now, Divine Ward as a cleric, this is a multi-use sort of support buffing ability that you have, where you can potentially heal somebody, make it so that your allies are more difficult to hit, etc. Which of these effects are you interested in here, Dolkrum?
the next damage roll made against Christian or excuse me, Reni or
Reiki.
Reki. Because I have Holy Circle, which allows me to do my Divine Ward on 2 creatures.
Very nice.
So I will invoke my Divine Ward on both Renu and Ricky. Reki?
Reiki.
I'm so sorry.
Ricky's cool too.
The effect I will do is the next damage roll against them is made with at disadvantage.
All right.
And what that looks like is they get a breastplate of gingerbread.
Ooh,
Never looked so delicious.
very nice. So let's have you roll plus wisdom to see how effective this is.
That's a 14 total, my friends.
What?
Wow. Okay, so
Double 6s.
on a full success, you get to choose 2 of these effects to grant to your friends.
Oh,
So
cool.
both Renew and Reiki are going to get those gingerbread breastplates, and also one other thing. Which would you like?
If they are defying danger now or in the next few moments, their roll gains advantage.
Okay, very nice. So, very good support move from Dolkrum. You bring out the gingerbread in a perfect time for Renew to go in with that hack and slash, so that's going to be plus strength.
9 in total.
9 total. All right, so this being a partial success, you are going to deal your damage, but you're also going to suffer the enemy's counterattack. So, you, regardless of what weapon you are using as a paladin, you're going to deal d6 plus 2 damage. The idea behind this design philosophy is if you are trained as a paladin, you'll be able to fight just as effectively with a hammer or a sword, whatever the case may be. So it's a consistent damage that you deal based on your class. So how much damage do you deal to this first reindeer?
Well, as I am striking, and I do hit, you see a flash of sparkling snowflake light just flash up my blade as I smite as well.
Very nice. So yeah, when you hack and slash a creature of darkness or chaos, which these reindeer definitely are at this point, they have been frozen over with hatred. You can spend a zeal. If you do, your damage roll gains advantage and also choose an extra effect. So it's going to be 2d6, the high result, plus 2.
That's 5 damage.
All right. And what extra effect?
I'm going to attempt to banish them or banish the frost from them.
All right. So you go in there with the attack. I'm going to roll real quick to see which reindeer you were attacking. You go rushing towards this one, and you see, as it sees you running, it lowers its horns and begins pawing at the ground, and you see flames erupt in its antlers. And so, because you got the partial success, you are going to take its counterattack damage. It rams into you with both of its flaming horns for 4 damage. You, however, have 3 armor, so you're only going to take 1 damage from this attack.
And the gingerbread.
Oh, that's right.
Disadvantage. Right.
Gingerbread.
Yes, disadvantage, in fact. So that means only 3 damage it deals, so you take no damage from this attack. It, tosses you up into the air with its antlers, and you, are up in the air and point your sword straight down. Where do you try to hit this reindeer as you successfully remove all of its hit points?
Right on the nose.
All right, so you turn the tables on this reindeer, and you yourself go flying down like a comet towards it. And as you pierce it right in the nose, you see the ice, in fact, does begin to crack and flake away from its body. And there's this holy radiance that flashes outward, and you can see it pushes back against the bodies of the other reindeer, and there's little bits of crackling that happen in their ice as well. So we are 1 reindeer down, 8 more to go.
Okay.
Reiki, you saw this reindeer explode in frost, but then as the frost dies down, you see it's just lying there peacefully with its head on its hooves, just snoring.
Oh, thank you, King Kringle. Okay, I'm going to run really fast to one of the other reindeer that started to crack, and I'm gonna jump on its back and use an unarmed strike. But can I flavor it this way, where I am trying to hug the evil out of it and the ice away, and I wrap around its neck, so it's almost like I'm choking the reindeer, and I'm so strong with my love that it fixes it and everything is good.
All right, let's have you roll to hack and slash.
Okay.
Now, since Reiki is a monk and has martial arts, Reiki is able to roll with dexterity for hack and slash instead of strength.
Ooh, that is an 8 plus a 1, so a 9.
All right, another partial success. So you likewise are going to take the retaliation from this deer. Which deer did you grab? So as you're rushing up towards this deer, you see it starts batting its eyelashes at you, very vixen-like, trying to charm you, essentially. So you put your arms around its neck. Go ahead and roll your damage against it.
5.
5. All right. And also you have piercing strikes.
Oh, yes.
Which allows you to add some piercing damage to go through the icy armor.
So that's plus 3, because I have 3 flow?
Yeah. So the way that armor works is as many points of armor as you have, it negates that much incoming damage. But if you have piercing, you go right through that armor. So you feel this reindeer starting to slow down beneath you as the ice does begin to crack and flake off of its body. But in the last moments before it goes unconscious, you see she looks up at you and bats those eyes really, really sadly before going unconscious. I need you to defy danger with wisdom.
You get something because of my thing?
Yes, because of your divine ward, she gets advantage on this defy danger roll.
Yeah.
Yes.
11.
Ooh, perfect. So that is a full success. You see the sadness coming from this vixen of a reindeer. Please, please don't hurt us. But deep down, I'm not hurting you, I'm just hurting the ice.
And as she goes down, I give her little pet and I go, "It was for your own safety. I promise you're okay now." And then I kiss her little head.
And now she's just sleeping very peacefully, just like Comet was.
I want you to know all I'm picturing is a deerling.
Like a Pokemon?
Yep. That's all I'm picturing right now. And but it's the spring version, so she's got a little, or no, summer is pink. I've been married to you for so long. That's all I'm picturing.
All right. Now, Dulcrum, you are seeing these things play out in front of you. Is there anything that you want to try and do at this point?
I'm just gonna be on call, I guess, for if anything goes bad. I want to look around. Where is the green hand, the hairy hand?
Yeah, it retreated back into those double doors and disappeared into the darkness on the other side.
Okay. All right. Since I can't see our perpetrator, I'm going to turn to the crowd and I'm going to attempt to, is it parlay or recruit?
Yeah, what is the effect that you're trying to get out of this? And I'll let you know which move is the most appropriate.
Just more. I want people to come help us hurt the reindeer. Beat the bad out of them.
All right, so I think in that instance, we probably actually would be trying to recruit these people.
Okay.
When you go looking to hire help, tell the GM what you're looking for, phrased in one of the following ways. A group of blank, a skilled blank. So you are looking for, presumably, a group of thugs, essentially.
I was hoping just other elves, and like walkers by, passers by.
But like the role that you're hoping for them to fill in this instance, you want them to beat up these reindeer, essentially.
It's so interesting. I can tell I'm thinking D&D, where it's much more granular. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have to deal with the individual threats, but it's broader picture, huh? So
Yeah.
the role I want them to fill is go get King Kringle.
Oh, a group of rescuers, essentially.
Yeah. Go find King Kringle.
All right.
Is my request.
Okay, so we're going to have you roll plus nothing. This is just a flat roll to recruit.
Okay. It's a 4.
Unless you want to throw around some money, perhaps. Then we could give you a little bonus on that.
No, we'll do 4. We'll just stick to 4.
Oof, yeah, well, mark experience. You turn to the gnomes around you and you're like, "Come on, help!" And all of the gnomes at this point are just fleeing. They're scrambling towards the door into the kitchen. They are running as fast as they can. They're like grabbing snacks as they go. And they're all just like, "This wasn't part of the job description." And they are just like crowding in. You can see the head chef with the cookbook is like trying desperately to stem the flow, and he actually gets knocked over. You see the cookbook goes flying up into the air and disappears into the crowd there. But yeah, you see all of the gnomes are just running away as fast as they can, except for the one who was selling the sweaters, who has something in his fingers that he's just kind of toying around with. You can't quite tell what it is from here, but it seems to be bending.
I would never interrupt that man's bliss. I turn my attention back to the action.
Yeah, so at this point, at least, there's no like collateral damage that you guys have to worry about by hitting some of these gnomes.
That's good.
Okay.
But yeah, back to our fighters. Do either of you have a plan in mind here?
I'm going to go ahead and mount the one at the front that seemed to be leading them all out.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, "This is your leader? How pathetic." And then I'm just going to bash him in the head with my shield.
All right, shield bash.
Oh my gosh.
Roll to hack and slash, plus strength.
Plus strength, that's an 11.
Ooh, full success. So you now have the option at this point to either deal an extra d6 damage or avoid his counterattack.
I'm going to go ahead and roll an extra d6 of damage and trust in my armor and the gingerbread ally that I have.
Okay. Well, your gingerbread has already been used up. Reiki still has hers.
Oh, well, I still got 3 armor, so
You do?
I'm feeling pretty confident.
All right, so roll your damage against Rudolph.
Oh.
13.
Okay.
All right.
Well, okay, yeah. Rudolph, what does it look like as you take Rudolph out of the combat here?
I mean, the shield I wear isn't necessarily all that big. It's bigger than a buckler, but it's not a huge shield. And emblazoned on the front is just an empty cloak, which is my holy symbol. And I just bash it onto right in between his antlers, and just little spiderweb cracks go out. and run down his back in the as if he were wearing a cloak, and then it just explodes off of his body.
Yeah, so Rudolph, he eventually lands down sleeping as well, but before that, in just kind of like a defensive reflex, real quick, Dulcrum and Reiki, are you looking at Renew and Rudolph as this happens?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
He said some really cool things right beforehand.
He did. You see, reflexively, Rudolph's nose flashes like a camera bulb. I need all of you to defy danger with Constitution.
Do
Do we still do it with advantage?
Reiki, you already used up yours. Renew, I don't think you used up yours yet.
Okay, so it's like one invocation. Okay.
Everybody, defy danger Constitution.
11.
11 as well.
10.
Holy cow, yeah. Well done, everybody. You avoid being blinded for a couple rounds here.
So it just looks
But I stare
awesome.
right at it.
It just looks so cool.
Yes. Yes, very good. Very, very good that you succeeded on that roll, because that one would have been rough.
Ooh, good for us.
Does doing 13 damage do anything?
I mean, he had 3 hit points. Yeah, generally speaking, in Dungeon World, creatures have much fewer hit points than they would in D&D.
Okay.
But you know what? I will actually, though, give you inspiration for having such a cool, inspiring moment.
That was pretty cool. Well done. Okay, so we've gotten rid of 3.
Yep, 3 down, 6 to go.
Is there a way I can try and take my, because I have a quarterstaff, is there a way that I can like take that and bring it down on the end? One end hits one reindeer, the other end hits another reindeer, like on their back, and I just go bam.
Interesting. I will say I will allow you to try this, but you will open up yourself to both of their counterattacks at the same time.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna win.
All right, roll to hack and slash.
And that's with dexterity for a monk.
Yep.
Ooh. That's a 9.
Okay, partial success. So you do open up yourself to both of their counterattacks. Now, which 2 did you end up going for? Yeah, so it is in fact Dasher and Prancer are the 2 that you ended up attacking. Yeah, you leap up high and plow down on both of their backs with your staff. Roll your damage at this point.
But I can do piercing strike, so then that would bring it up to 5.
So piercing strike only lets you ignore armor, so you're going to just roll your d6 plus 1, and then if they have armor, which they do, then we're going to ignore that.
Okay, so then 2.
2 damage. So, yeah, you fall down on top of them, and this is the first time you've tried to attack 2 things at once, so... like, you do hit them, but not as squarely as you were hoping. They both leap out in pain and turn towards you, very angry looking. So Prancer, first things first, is going to also leap up very high and is going to try and just like John Cena pile drive you down to the ground with his like deer elbow.
Oh no!
Prancer has advantage on damage rolls when leaping up high into the sky. So you're going to take 4 damage as he lands down right on your midsection with that elbow.
I'd like to use Shield of Faith if I can.
I have gingerbread.
Oh, she does have gingerbread.
That's right. So it's going to be disadvantage on the roll that had advantage. Okay, so it's still going to be 4.
I'd still like to use Shield of Faith.
Okay, so while you bear a shield, your shield can block insubstantial or magical attacks as if they were physical blows. You can add the following option to defend. So the defend move is a move that you take kind of preemptively to try and help somebody who might be getting attacked.
Gotcha, okay.
So defend, when you take up a defensive stance or jump in to protect someone or something else, roll plus con. Well, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be preemptive. So yeah, let's have you roll plus con to defend against this attack for Reiki.
That's a 6.
Ooh, well,
Oh, no.
mark experience.
Do I take the hit, though?
Yeah, so I think because this is a full failure, you're both going to take the hit. Like, you leap up to try and block the attack, and you just get caught on Prancer's elbow as he pile drives you into Reiki's stomach.
Don't worry, I can take it.
So that's going to be 4 damage also to Renew, but you've got 3 armor, so only 1 damage to Renew.
I'm a coming, friends.
But we still have Dancer's counterattack as well. So Dancer turns and looks down at Reiki and starts to dance in this like weirdly hypnotic fashion. So I need you to defy danger with wisdom, Reiki.
11.
Ooh, very nice. You are not charmed by the dances of this reindeer.
But can I dance? Well, no, I'm on the ground. I'll start kind of like wriggling my body back at him like I'm trying to also dance to be supportive. But it's just kind of like...
Yeah, so now, Dulcrum, you just saw both of your friends take a pretty hard hit there.
Yeah. A divine ward. I squeeze my cheeks and a bunch of food shoots out in perfect, precise aim. I'm spitting food into their mouth. I'm going to attempt a divine ward, recover some HP, and I will use my circle again to try and get both of them.
All right, roll plus wisdom.
Be good, be good, be good, be good, be good, be good. 9 plus wisdom to 11.
All right, so you get 2 effects.
Ha ha! So you both get to roll 1d6 plus 1 HP. Do they both get 2?
Yep, they both get 2 because of your divine circle.
And then in addition, we'll do the damage roll with a disadvantage again. That was really handy.
All right. More gingerbread starts to like build up piece by piece on your chests. And how much hit points do we regain?
I regained 3.
All right.
So I'm at 15 out of 16 now.
Nice.
I only had lost 1 point, so I just went back up to 20.
Perfect.
Booyah.
Just the way we like to see it. Fat and happy.
Yeah, so both of you are feeling a little bolstered again in this situation. What's our next move?
I think I am going to attempt to do a big sweep and take out Dancer.
All right.
And I am going to plant my feet, spend a zeal, and I am going to use my Paladin's Oath to gain advantage on my damage roll. Oh, that's if I hit, not on my attack.
Yeah, so what you're going to do with this is you're going to roll to hit, and then if you do hit, you gain advantage on the damage roll. You roll 2d6 and take the higher result. You also gain the Forceful tag. Forceful allows you to move your opponent while you hit them.
Okay, let's see if I hit first, and then I might decide to do this.
All right.
That's a 10.
Oh, full success. So, do you want to deal extra damage or avoid the counterattack?
Extra damage with advantage.
Okay, so 2d6 plus 2 with advantage. Go ahead and roll that.
Get wrecked!
And it's forceful. And I want to drive him into the reindeer behind him.
All right, go for it.
7 or 8, 9, 10. 10 damage plus forceful.
Okay, so I am going to make a roll here to see how many deer are behind Dancer at this point, as you just like smack him so hard he goes flying. There are 2 other deer behind Dancer, so you deal 1 damage. Let's go with some cleaving rules here. You deal 1 final damage to Dancer, and there's still 9 damage left to deal as he goes flying backwards. Who does Dancer slam into? That is going to be Cupid and Dasher.
Oh, yeah. Goodbye, Dasher.
Goodbye, Dasher.
Yeah, so slams into Cupid. I'm going to choose, do I want you? Yeah, Dasher's counterattack is less narratively funny. So he like slams into the other 2 and they all pile up against the side of the sleigh. There's this big shattering of ice. And at this point, Dancer and Dasher have both fallen asleep, but you see Cupid with one final sort of breath looks at you and blows a little kiss. I need you to defy danger wisdom.
Oh, my wisdom is not great.
Not wisdomous.
7.
7, that is a partial success. What is the first creature that you look at after? So like you feel this kiss blown towards you and like a little heart goes floating through the air and lands on the tip of your nose. You start blinking and the world around you fills with pink. What creature do you think you lay eyes on first when you open your eyes back up?
I flex, I get, my muscles are big. I just smash back 3 reindeer. I look incredible. And I look around to see, who saw that. And there's that cat in that really nice cape.
Oh, and you realize now what's going on. He was just negging you the entire time. He is so into you, Renew.
What a flirt.
Sacre bleu. He knows the way to my heart. Bonjour, monsieur. I'll find you after the battle.
Dead.
I'm going to make a roll real quick just to... Well, you know what? Let's have you just defy danger charisma real quick. just to see what happens.
Defy dangerous relationship.
Oh boy.
8.
8. Yeah, you see he tries to turn away nonchalantly, but you do catch him like glancing back over his shoulder towards you. So, yeah, Cupid's down as well. Now we only have Prancer, Donner, and Blitzen left. And with that, it's time to end our festive tale. For now, the battle rages on, but the end is in sight. How are they going to defeat these reindeer, and how are they going to find this person who sabotaged King Kringle? Let's find out next time on Improv Tabletop. I've been Ned Wilcock, your host and GM. Thanks for joining us on this very special holiday adventure using one of my favorite RPG systems of all time. Hope you're enjoying it. Much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Improv Tabletop.